Hello and welcome back. It's LaShonda Henry here, aka Sister Sense. We are once again inside the Setup for Sales 7-Day Challenge. So, to help you grow as part of this challenge, we have for 7 days intentionally been working on creating your first or your next digital passive product, right? A $7 solution. And when we talked about essentially the process of putting this solution together, the goal was to focus on first prepping and producing a product in the first couple of days, and then taking the middle period of this week to work on publishing that product, even putting together a possible squeeze page to promote a freebie lead magnet for your product. And thus far, we've been talking about C promotions. So when it comes to promoting your offer, let's talk about the C promotions that we have been exploring over the last few days so that we can do the final of the 3. Now, for me, it's been all about, number one, your copy, right? So we spent some time looking at how you can use AI to assist you in putting together copy for your sales pages and your product pages, right? And then yesterday, I challenged you to intentionally find people within your existing community, right? Your email list, your contact list, your social media list, to reach out to and introduce your offer to. Now today, what we're going to do is talk about your content when it comes to strategically promoting your offer, okay? So let's talk about the content conversation and a few things that I have available for you when it comes to putting together content for your marketing on various social media platforms. So the first thing that I want to do is to actually take you over to our original document. So I'm going to go over to my Drive real quick. Okay, so the first thing to talk about when it comes to content marketing is on the first couple of days, your $7 solutions guide included quite a few templates that I gave to you, right? And so one of the things that you can do is to take the individual pages within your template of choice, if you've decided to use any of those to actually make your offer, and to save those pages as initial marketing promotions. So let's talk about what I mean by that. I'm going to go over to my Canva doc real quick. So right now you're looking at, for example, my Time Savers Toolkit. If you were to create a toolkit, one of the things that you probably would want to do is to download the cover graphic so that you could use it in your mock-ups for promotion, right? Another thing that I often do when it comes to promotion is to create lead magnets by pulling out a few pages for marketing purposes. And outside of just downloading the lead magnets to offer on a landing page, you could also share some of that content on your social media. So I'm going to jump over to Instagram real quick, like so, like that, and then actually take you, okay, so here is an example of what I am referencing as well. So number one, just using the cover graphic as is in your promotions, but then number two, also downloading multiple pages from your document to share as visuals in your promotions is also something that you can do. So here, for example, is a guide that I worked on, Get Up and Make More Money. And if you swipe through the slides, you'll actually see content from the guide itself. Okay? So that is another thing that I want you to think about. And I'm going to go through a list of how you can strategically use the templates I've given you in addition to what I'm going to talk about next into your marketing promotions. But these are a few examples. So either taking the first page of your template graphic and downloading that image, or taking multiple pages from your product and using that as a sneak peek content. And in this case, by the way, this is a carousel slide in Instagram. So in Instagram, when you do these, you can have up to 10 images. I'm basically taking some of the pages from the book and then showcasing them that way. Okay, so this is something that I've done quite a bit, and I want to be able to show you another example right here. It says download your ebook, and then again, it's basically pages from that particular document saved as graphic images. Okay? So that is another thing that you can do when it comes to strategically pulling out content from one of the templates that I've put together for you and using that in your marketing promotions. Okay? Now, let's talk about another example. And I get this question all the time. So I figured, you know what? Let's talk about how you can put something like this together. One example, let me head on over to Chrome, GBBC. Okay, so this is sistersense.com/GBBC, my Girl Boss Digital Book Club, right? And this is, of course, a simple sales page that I put together in ConvertKit, and we spent some time talking about how to set up your ConvertKit pages as well, right? And oftentimes people will say to me, LaShonda, this is a really cool image. How did you make that? Like, or what is that, right? And it's basically just the cover graphic animated. And you can do this with any of the cover graphic images that you've created as a result of using one of the templates that I've given to you, okay? So I'm going to show you how to do that in just a second. But of course, as we go through these, if you have any questions for me, feel free to let me know, okay? So just to kind of go back and put this in context here, we spent the first promo day talking about your copy, yesterday talking about convos, and today it's all about your content, specifically your product and your promotional graphics. So right now you're actually looking at an example of one of my latest ebooks, Stay Encouraged. This is a 136-page digital book, and this is the cover, right? One of the several ebook templates you have. This is one of my covers that I love to use quite a bit, right? And so if I needed to, I could simply click anywhere on this screen, right? And then you'll notice that it says block, right? That's the animation that's being used on this page. So if I were to, I'm actually going to you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a copy of this so I could just have it as one page. So let me do that real quick. I'm going to go to Home, create a new design. I just want it to be a square graphic. Okay, so on this page, I'm just going to import that cover image real quick, just so that I only have that image and nothing else. Okay, now, right now, as I mentioned before, if you look at it when it's animated, it says block for animation, right? And it's 5 seconds. So if you press play, this is basically the animation that is given. And you can change this. So I'm going to do, for a little bit longer of an animation, I'm going to do 8 seconds, number 1. And then I'm going to change it to something else, number 2. I love pop. It's one of my favorite ones. But there's fade, there's wipe, there's all of these different animations, and you can just, at your heart's desire, pick one that works for you, right? So I'm going to do the pop, okay? Then I would go to download this, and I would choose GIF, okay? So this would allow me to download this as in this case it's 8 seconds, an 8-second animated GIF, number 1. And then number 2, just like we did before when I uploaded graphics to ConvertKit for my landing page or for a sales page, like when I created a product, instead of putting an image in here that was just a static graphic that didn't move, I could create an animated GIF graphic for a little bit of pop, right? And in addition to using it on the product page, I could also simply use that same graphic on social media as well. So you could save it as an animated GIF, the GIF format, or when you come to share, to download, you could save it as an MP4 video graphic. What's great about the MP4, though, is that you can even add music when you're saving it as a video versus an animated GIF. So you'll notice the difference. MP4 video, when you save as a GIF, it says short clip, but no sound. So the GIF is just an animated picture versus MP4, which would be treated as a video, and you can add audio to that video if you chose to. Okay? So the next graphic set option that I want to give you, outside of the initial templates that you got, I think on day 2 and 3, here is another template set. Write down MGT. MGT. So let's go over to Chrome real quick. If you were to put into the chat, sistasense.com/MGT, that's where you would see this template collection for your marketing graphics templates. Marketing graphics templates. So you've got quite a few options to choose from here. I absolutely love this collection. Let me put it on the screen so I can show you what these look like as well. So when it comes to coming up with graphics, you can build from scratch, but you don't have to, because I've given you quite a few graphic options to choose from. Okay? So let's take a look at some of these images. Here you have one with a young lady, and then you have the ability to edit the text. Now, to be honest with you, you don't have to keep this photo here. You can delete her and then put any other image you want in place of her in this graphic. Now, to show you how I would do that, I'm going to actually make a copy of this template so that my changes are reflected in my copy and I don't mess up your actual template, right? So number one, when it comes to all of these, I always say the first thing that you want to do is to change the color so that it reflects your brand. And you'll notice at the bottom of Canva where it says change all, when I hit change, all the tan browns are going to change over to the purple for branding. Anything that you see that has stayed the same is actually a graphic, right? Number two, remember I said one of the things that you might want to do is to download the image of the front of your graphic or even the internal pages of your ebook if you've used in one of my ebook templates, right? So if I were to do that, I could easily then come in here, upload images of my new ebook, and then drag and drop them over into this document, right? So in this one, I love that it has the little like button that moves, and then it's just showing you that the like count is going up. That just cute little animation at the top there gives it a little bit of character. So you do have quite a few options to choose from. Let's say, for example, you've created some type of a toolkit or a lead magnet. You can use this one. I'm going to change this blue out as well. Maybe do a darker purple combination, but you can opt to do whatever you like with these templates. Okay? So you've got a nice set of templates to choose from if you created a webinar training, right? If you did an audio. Remember, one of the first types of digital products we talked about is creating an audio, right? And I absolutely love this template because there's a lot that you can do with this. Number one, let's say, for example, I want to use my own photo in here other than using a stock photo, right? And then if it's not necessarily a podcast, but maybe you did an audio PDF, I can put my audio, I can change the word here to something else, and then have that as a design, okay? Now, keep in mind, one of the things that I had mentioned to you all previously is that in addition to, what's the word I'm looking for? In addition to you customizing these templates, I could also do some of this work for you. I do have graphics design services that I offer to clients who say, LaShonda, I would love to do it myself. I just don't have the time or the skill set, or to be honest with you, I'm not as creative as you. So if you can run with it, great. So let me show you something very similar to this one that I did for one of the ladies in my circle, Elizabeth, who specializes in self-care. Okay? So I may have to scroll a bit. You know how Canva is when you're looking for projects. But let's go over to designs real quick, and I'll show you a slightly different variation that I created for Elizabeth. Okay, here we go. Edit. So Elizabeth actually sat down and recorded several audios that she wanted to share as part of her wellness series, number one. And number two, a few months ago, when we did AI graphics, she worked on the graphic that you see here on the screen. And that graphic is like an avatar graphic, for her, right? Which was awesome. So what I did was actually create a revised version using the template that you just saw, the audio version that has her logo, her branding, her color scheme, and if you press play, you'd be able to hear her speaking in the background.
Hello, ladies. This is Elizabeth Merriweather, self-care and purpose coach for the Well Station, where we help busy career women to focus on self-care.
So this is something that you can consider as well. Not only can you use the template that I gave you, because there are so many different options in that template, styles for different products, for audios, for videos, to showcase pages from your ebooks. In this case, you can combine that first graphic template, the audio template, with your audios to make a video, right? So that this, you would come here and then you would go to download and save it as a video, MP4 video, to combine the two, okay? Now, just to kind of put it in context for you, when you are inside of Canva, right, you go, wait, I could add audio? Yes, you can, ma'am. So when you're in Canva, either you could go to present and record, because you can record your voice inside of Canva, or you can record your audio outside of Canva and upload it here, going to uploads and upload your audio, then drag your audio into your document. So I have a ton of audio files here. You can easily upload the content and then drag it into the document to play it, right? And then you would edit where you want it to be as far as if you want the whole audio or if you want clips of it, okay? And like I said, this one, I customized it for Elizabeth versus you having the template and working on customizations for yourself. Either way, that's something that you can do, okay? So I'm going to go back to the template real quick. Like I said, it's basically what you see here with a few variations that I added specifically for her, right? But as is, it's pretty clean. It's one of my favorites. You may notice that it had an animated wave, right? And you go, ooh, that's kind of cool. How did LaShonda do that? I didn't do anything crazy. I promise you. I really didn't. If you go over to Elements and you look for sound wave animation, you see all. Some of them do not move and some of them do. Like you see that? That one right there does move. I don't think I've ever used those. Honestly, I tend to use the ones that are really just simple. So, oops, see, I don't know what's going on. I wouldn't necessarily. Well, even though that's kind of cool, I don't know if I would necessarily use something like that in my video, but it is kind of cool. Let me show you the one that I tend to use. For some reason, I am not seeing it right now. It's like one of these wave ones, but it's animated. Let's see if I can find it. Sound wave. As you can tell, they've got a lot to choose from. Maybe in Soundwave, they do have Soundwave videos, which is interesting. I've never used the Soundwave videos. I've only just used the graphic ones. But here's another Soundwave. And like what I would do is put this somewhere in the content so it kind of looks like it's a part of the image. I'm going to see if I can find the one that I am looking for. Sound wave GIF. Man, why can't I find that one? It's normally one of the first ones. It's strange it's not coming up today. I'm just going to try maybe sound animation. Sound animation. Music, animation. I don't know why I'm not seeing it today. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going to, in the interest of time, I'm going to move forward. But it's usually underneath Wave. They have this one, which isn't necessarily the one that I'm looking for. I'm looking for the one that looks more like a sound file. But they do have this one. I'm just going to put that in there as a placeholder because it kind of mirrors the one that I just had on Elizabeth's own, even though it's not exactly the one that I wanted to show you. I just don't know why it's not coming up for me right now. Don't want to take too much time away from going through these examples. But if I could do a follow-up and check in with you guys and let you know what the exact keyword I used is, or an updated keyword, because that's the keyword I usually use, sound wave animation. I'm just not sure why I'm not seeing the one I'm looking for come up on the screen. But I digress. So first, let me power pause so that I can check in and see what you guys are saying. Barbara says, my goodness, LaShonda, I didn't even realize this was in Canva. What rock have I been under? This is a lot. It's a lot. Well, you know, in the last year or so, Barbara makes me laugh. In the last year or so, Canva's really been revving up its game to add more features. Like there's now you can do Canva documents. They're putting a lot of effort into doing video customizations as well, so you can do a lot more video editing inside of Canva. So they've really been, you know, just kind of knocking everybody out the water. They're like, competition what? Competition who? We have none. This is another great example of being able to have like multiple images in one graphic. I especially like this one for my square images. So let me go back to some of my uploaded images from some of my templates, and I'm going to, without even really thinking much about it, okay, I saved pages as graphics, and I'm going to take some of those and pop them in here, right? You basically want to create scroll stoppers where you show people pages of inside of your document, and they're like, "Ooh, what's that? Where's that? How do I download that?" Right? Getting them excited about your offer. Okay? And depending upon what pages you've included in your ebook, something like this is a good preview for that, right? Now, I've used a purple background in here, but I'm a matchy-matchy. Like, my hubby's always like, you match so much. Everything has to match. I'm a matchy-matchy kind of a girl. So I might just come in here and adjust the background. But you see, it didn't really take much for me. And these graphics are a part of the audiobook template. Did I give y'all the audiobook template? I know I gave you, let's go into the drive here. I gave you several template collections on the first day. Let me just double check to see if the audiobook one was one of them. You have the audio course template. So if you wanted to create pages just like you're seeing here, with the ability to have a graphic in the back and play buttons and things like that, you do have that feature in one of the templates that you've received, and then you could use this set of templates to create appealing mock-ups for your marketing. Okay? Oh, this one was the one that I was showing you before, and I backtracked, where if you wanted to use her, great, but you don't have to. You could use other stock photos, or you could even use your own images. So I'm going to take one of my favorite images from one of the last webinar workshops that I did. The next one is coming up in October. So I'm just clicking remove background, right? And now I could do something like this. I'm so small. I thought I would fill up more than I did, but I might have to zoom in a lot for this particular image to fit to fill out the picture here. It's a little bit narrow, but you get the gist. I'm not really going to do too much here, just to kind of put it into a little bit of context. Now, you notice that it did remove the background, but there's a little piece here that it didn't remove, unfortunately. There's like something that was behind me that you can still see in the image, right? You can see that stuff right here. There's two things that I could do. Either I could just simply crop that out, but if I do crop that part out, I lose a little bit of my bag, right? So I'm going to show you something that I tend to like to do for things like that. When it doesn't perfectly remove all of the background, but it's enough, I might use a leaf or something just to kind of hide that ever so slightly. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go to plants, right? And then it'll show me all of these little plant images, right? So without going too crazy, I might find something that's simple, not maybe too distracting. I don't know what something like that would look like. Maybe something like this. That one's not too bad, but I might find something else. Something that is not terribly distracting. I kind of like this one. or I might find something else. It may not be a plant, but in the interest of time, something that I could put there to kind of cover up that little spot right there and clean it up without me having to do too much, right? But then having it kind of blend in the back. So the remove background feature is one of my favorites. It's not something that you get with the free version. I think you only get 1 or 2 times that you, I think maybe 3 times or something like that. You get a limited number of times to use the remove background feature if you have the free version of Canva, but the pro version, you can use it however many times you want, right? So because I've got like green and orange in what I'm wearing, it kind of blends in. It doesn't seem so random. But I could also just simply use something like this one, this white one here. Just getting creative to find something that I could possibly put in here to cover or distract from that random thing on the side. This may not be the right one for that, but in the interest of time, I'm not going to go too crazy looking for something. I'm going to just leave it like that. Or, to be honest with you, I could just use another picture. Just not go too crazy with it and use another picture altogether. Let's try one of these, please. And use something like this, and in this case it will fill it out a little bit more, and I don't have to worry about that photo in the back, right? So your own photo, a stock photo, the photo that's already in the graphic, just a few options for you, right? And this one, I'm just doing a little bit of branding here so it matches the other ones. But yeah, I love this one because I made it to look like a little computer, laptop, or tablet. And this is supposed to be a presentation style slide. You know, I use this a lot. So, for example, if you wanted to give people an example of a presentation slide that you did from your webinar, you could use this one. Then you could record yourself talking about whatever points you have in the slide as an audio, attach the audio to this, and make a short little 60-second video. Like basically explain what's in this part of the webinar, and then say, hey, by the way, if you want to watch the full webinar, go to my website, ... So these 10 or 11 images that you have can be used in a lot of different ways to either create static images, animated images, or video with audio. You decide. Okay? So those are a few things to consider. Let me see here. Hey, Dee, great idea about the plant. What file extension do we need to use to ensure that the audio file will play when downloaded from Canva? You want to make sure that it's an MP4 video. So when you save it, it's going to be a video. If you do GIF, GIF, it'll be animated if you have any animations in there, but there will be no sound. So if you want to sound and you want it to play, it's got to be video. Great question, by the way. You're welcome. Absolutely. Barbara says, I have to make more time for play. Absolutely. So there are lots of different things that y'all can do with these. But like I said, my big focus was once you get your product together, right, and you then publish it, and if there is an actual page that it lives on where people can go and sign up for a free part of it or pay for the whole part of it, then you want to work on your promotions. What you're going to say, we did that in copy. Who you're going to talk to, we talked about yesterday, conversations, and how you're going to put content together, audio content, video content, graphic content. That is the topic for today, okay? So If you have any other questions about this, definitely feel free to let me know. I want you to be able to spend the majority of the time putting your graphics together, and then, of course, checking in with me. You can either tag me when you post on social media, or you can upload your creations to our Facebook group. Okay, so let's go back over to our promo page so I can share the last part of today's content marketing conversation with you. And of course, any questions, feel free to check in and let me know. Okay? So today, our focus was your product and your promo graphics. Graphics that you can put on social media, but then also on your landing pages, right? And graphics that you can use to showcase your product, but also graphics you can use to showcase your free lead magnets, right? The last thing that I wanted to talk about with you all is conversion marketing and sales. Conversion marketing and sales. And what are some things that we've discussed throughout the entirety of this week that can help you with your conversion and your sales, right? Now, I'm going to show you 3 things, share a few more tidbits, but again, if you have questions, let me know. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do is go back over to Chrome. Oh, nope, this is not Chrome. Where's Chrome? All right, here we go. sistasense.com/WBT7. So WBT7 is the workbook template $7. This is the example that I created and shared with you guys as part of our initial activity, correct? Yes. Now, remember I said to you the idea here is to use $7 offers to give people a taste of bigger offers that you have available. If you have no bigger offers, that's not a problem. Your $7 offer can be your offer in and of itself that you focus on selling. But if you do want to connect it to your coaching calls, your program, your subscription, something bigger, you can, right? Now, in this case, if you click here, I showed you all that I added the ability to not just purchase that product at $7, but to attach additional products, right? So then the person goes, oh, I want your bundle. Let me add that in too. It's $47. About 2 days ago, I did a live stream, and one of the ladies on the live, Katoya, said, oh, I missed your training. Can you show me how to do the adding the order bump, upsell, and convert kit? And I did, and I just added another product. So when someone is checking out, you can add multiple upsell offers. I added another one to it, and now on this one page, someone can spend anywhere between $7 to $97, depending upon how many of these extra upsells they add on to their checkout order, right? And so when it comes to conversion, I know when I started, I would spend hours painstakingly trying to figure out a price that I thought would convert. I was like, okay, I don't want it to be too expensive because they won't buy. And I don't want it to be too cheap because then I'm not going to make enough money, right? And it's like, oh, what do I sell? What do I sell? Breaking things up into the good, better, best was a game changer for me, because then I can appeal to everybody. I can appeal to the person who is only here for the $7 solution. Either they can only afford $7, or they're like, listen, I don't know you like that. I'm not trying to buy all your stuff and waste my money because I don't know if your stuff is going to be the stuff for me, right? So some people can obviously afford more, but they want to feel you out and see if what you've got is a good fit for them, right? So for those people, 7 is sufficient. Other people, they're going to be your impulse buyers. They're going to be like, oh, my gosh, this is a great deal. I want this, I want this, I want this. Some people, they're going to be your previous customers. They know you, they like you, they trust you, and they're going to put everything in the cart. So literally, in this one instance, I can appeal to a range of people, their budgets, their interests, and their degree of know, like, and trust factor when it comes to me and my personal brand, right? So one thing that I've talked about when it comes to the $7 solution is that it is a low-risk, minimal investment offer, but you want to make it high quality. You want to make it so that people, you get them in the door, they come back for more because they're excited about what you've put together, and if they really like it, they come back and they stick around, right? They may not buy everything that you have, but if you're consistent communicating with them enough, they will come back, right? So giving them multiple options or adding on an upsell offer to your main offer, that was number one. Number two, let's go over to the document that I shared with you, okay? So the first couple of days, we worked in the $7 solutions document. I gave you all a list of possible projects as well as templates to help you with your product creation, right? And then during our promotions conversation, I shared this document with you. So about 2 days ago, I shared the Setup for Sales document at this URL. Don't know if you downloaded this document yet, but it's at susanvince.com/SSSPG for Setup for Sales promo guide. This is when we went into ChatGPT, okay? And I said, use ChatGPT to help you come up with descriptions for your sales copy, for your pages, to come up with content for social media, to come up with content for emails. So using ChatGPT, let me look for that prompt. I gave y'all an email prompt for a 5-day email sequence. So I said, I created a fill in the blank, give me some ideas for a 5-day email sequence for new subscribers. Another aspect of conversion is after that initial sale, creating a series of emails where you are communicating to them the value of the offer you gave them. You're checking in, asking them if they want to talk to you, ask you questions, or if they're ready for your next big offer, right? And a lot of times people will say to me, LaShonda, I need help with copy. I don't know what to write in my emails. And I'm like, listen, if you can't ask me, ask ChatGPT. So number one, you can work on the graphics yourself, but if you need support, check in. I do have packages to customize graphics for you. Number two, you can work on the writing yourself, but you could also do that with me via a call or using the ChatGPT platform. So 2 days ago, when we started talking about promoting, I went over to ChatGPT. I'm going to do that real quick just to give you a recap of the different strategies that I want you to think about when it comes to conversion, right? And if I look down here, okay, so here it goes. It says, here is your 5-day email sequence. And literally, once I put in that request, it wrote 5 days of emails for me, right? Now, you can put these emails into your platform if you're using ConvertKit or MailChimp or whatever you're using. You can ask your team, your virtual assistant, or if you work with me to help you set up your email sequence. But for some of you, it's not even that part. Before you even get to the part of setting up the technical sequence, you're stuck on, what do I put in the sequence? What do I say in these 5 emails or 6 emails or however many you want to consistently check in with your audience, right? And creating a sales funnel, I call it the simple $7 sales funnel, is being able to check in with them, see if they've downloaded your offer, what they've thought about the offer, are they ready for the upsell, right? And if you missed that training, go back. It was a really good one. Each of our trainings so far have been anywhere between 30 to 90 minutes, so not terribly long, just enough to give you some action steps to move forward. And, of course, anything missing or any questions you have, feel free to check in with me. So when it comes to conversion marketing, adding upsells to your sales page, number 1, creating an email sequence, number 2, and number 3, for me, it's all about the visuals, right? It's all about the visuals. People, a lot of times, they will look at the products that I've put together and they go, oh my gosh, I need that. That looks so pretty. That looks so clean. That's so amazing. And I want you to be able to replicate these templates, create mock-ups of your products, visuals that are pretty, that are professional, that get people excited about seeing what's in the inside, okay? So another aspect of conversion marketing and sales is creating branding that's cohesive, that is, your logo, your color scheme, everything is cohesive, and it's clean, it's professional, it's eye-catching, and people are wowed by it. So like I said, when you look at something like GBBC, people think that I did something crazy, like, what is this? How did you make that? And I'm like, it's just a collection of images, and I used Canva to animate it. Like, literally, it's just a bunch of images in one graphic, and Canva hit Canva animate, pop, or bounce, or slide, and Canva did the rest. I really did nothing complicated or something that you can't do yourself, just picking one of Canva's animations based on your personal like, okay? So those are some things to think about when it comes to conversion, marketing, and sales. I also mentioned to you yesterday that even if you tell me you don't have a list, you have a list, right? So if you could send out your information about your products to an email list of people who are following you, great. But even if you don't have a traditional email list, you have a list. There are people who are in your email contacts. There are people who are in your phone contacts. And there are people who you follow and who are following you on social media, even if it's a small group. You can reach out to those people that you follow, that follow you, that you communicate via these platforms over the phone, on email, and talk to them. Those are your warm leads. Those are your first 1, 5, 10, possibly 50 customers. I said to you all in the training that I did a few days ago, I said there are so many different ways to market. And back in the day, before there was apps and before there was Facebook and Twitter, like MySpace days, right? Black Planet days. My hubby went to Walmart and bought a clicker, and we would sit there and he would click because he's very systematic about things. He would say, okay, you really want to track how many people you email, we're going to do it with the clicker. And every time you email somebody or I email somebody, we click. So we know how many people you've reached that day. I gave you guys the 100 challenge. No excuses. You make a list of people you're going to reach out and contact, their name, and say, hey, this is something that I think would be of interest to you. It's my new ebook. It's a webinar. If you don't reach out to people, nobody's going to know. Yes, you want to be able to just hit a button and post on social media. Yes, you want to be able to just hit a button and send an email to 10,000 people. If you have the opportunities to do that, great. But outside of that, you can directly reach people. To this day, regardless of however many hundreds or thousands of people I have access to through social media, to this day, I send out personalized emails to individuals. I'll say, hey, you came out to my last event. I've got one coming up. I think this would be a good fit for you. Hey, we worked together. I built your website. I have a new training on how you can drive traffic to your landing page. Would you like to watch that webinar? Go here. Personal emails, as well as reaching out to people individually via text message, all the things. Whatever channels, whoever you have access to, make sure that you're using your resources. You're leveraging your list, and you're not simply just trying to wait until you get to the point where you could do what everybody else is doing. You do what you can do with the list, with the tribe, with the community you have presently access to. okay? So when it comes to conversion marketing and sales, reaching people who you actually know and you're connected to, leveraging your personal list and tribe is going to be a big part of the process, okay? So if you have any questions for me, feel free to let me know. But that's the heart of it when it comes to giving you some simple conversion marketing and sales strategies, when it comes to offering you some templates and examples of visuals that you can use in your promotions. No excuses. Even if you don't have a traditional email list, you do have contacts. You have contacts in your phone. You have contacts that you are communicating with. And when you post on social media, when you post on Facebook, you got people who you're following, your friends, your families, your coworker. That's the foundation of the tribe that you leverage. That's what's going to help you grow, okay? So I'm going to check the chat in just a second to see if you guys have any questions for me. But as you are doing that, just to let you know, we are wrapping up. 7 days has gone by, and I really, really hope, number one, you've been able to see that you can tap into your profit potential. You can grow your customer base by creating these entry point offers, right? I do want to see what you all have created. The Setup for Sales Challenge, this experience is actually a part of the Digital Dollars program. And we are going to continue Digital Dollars from here. We're going to continue doing trainings around your $7 solutions, trainings around identifying your core offers and strategically marketing. So we are not done. The $7 is very much a foundational piece, but it's not the end. It is a continuation of the larger Digital Dollars experience, number one. Number two, depending upon what you all need, based on what we did as part of this 7-day experience, I'm anticipating having a few follow-up sessions to this 7-day challenge because, as I mentioned before, I want to be able to support you all in this process from planning it, producing it, to actually strategically promoting it. Now that we've hit this point, we're not finished. I'm not falling off. I do want you to keep on keeping on. Let me know where you are in the process and how your promotions are going, okay? That's number one. Number two, again, as I mentioned before, I'll probably consider doing either a 1-day or a 2 to 3 hour follow-up session to this one so that we can go over any things you need clarified, we can catch up and track your progress. I want you to intentionally work on finishing these offers, publishing these offers, and promoting them as entry point offers to get people into your tribe and get them excited about the core things that you sell in your primary business, okay? So let me check the chat and see what you guys are saying to me as we're wrapping up. Thanks for the training. Very useful. Excited about the products developed over the last 7 days. Awesome. I have to screenshot that. I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. Definitely make sure that you're posting your products in our Facebook group over at firestarters.success.com. Like I said, as part of Digital Dollars, we do have some upcoming trainings continuing to talk about your products and your promotions. If you have any questions or specific requests, things that you would like me to do or dive into in more detail, let me know. And outside of what we're doing as part of the community, you can always work with me privately, whether it be one-on-one, done-for-you graphic services or tech setup services. If you're like, man, LaShonda, I need help setting up my pages, my landing pages. I need help setting up my ConvertKit. Whether you want us to do it together or for me to do it for you, I got you. Just know that you're not alone. And know that even if we're wrapping up this 7-day experience, this hopefully is not a wrap-up for you. This is not just to drop the ball, oh, whatever I did in this time period, I'm done. We're going to continue as part of the Digital Dollars 90-day program, okay? So that's it for today. Go forth, continue to create your amazing, track your project progress, post in the group, and I'll let you know what's coming up next as part of the Digital Dollars program inside the Sister Sense Circle. Till next time, take care, y'all. Mwah. Bye.